Welcome, everyone. Today we are very excited to continue our Governor series. We have Derrick Jackson with us today. Thank you very much for spending the time and joining us.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation.
Yeah. So you came from New York and worked your way down to the great state of Georgia. We all moved to Georgia to get jobs and start businesses and stuff. So what was kind of your, interest in coming to Georgia? How'd you pick Georgia?
Yeah, so great question. My roots are Georgia. In fact, we go back to the 1812. The very first time my great-great-grandparents, my great-great-grandfather was purchased in Charleston, South Carolina, and brought to a small little place called Burke County, Waynesboro, Georgia. My mother was born and raised right here in Georgia, and she left here in 1960 and looking for an opportunity to become a nurse, and she went up to New York. They had a big job boom, and then that's where I was born, Syracuse, New York, 6 years later.
And you sort of hear that little bit of a New York accent. Yeah, so you got a little bit of it left.
Yeah, I tell everyone growing up in Syracuse was great, minus the fact that I was the only boy, so I had to shovel snow. Oh. And it did not matter if I was 7 years old or 8 years old, and my mother was a nurse, and so 1 year in particular, we had this blizzard. And I kid you not.
Only 1 year?
Well, I know, right?
Every year.
That's true. Yeah. But this one particular year, she purchased me a shovel at the age of 7 or 8. And I kid you not, I would use the sweeping broom because it would just have flurries. But the next morning, it was like 5 or 6 feet. And I'm like, where's the snow, Mom? And so she went to Kmart. I'm dating myself here. She went to Kmart and purchased me a shovel. And that's when I learned about service and getting up early. So I would get up 5:30 in the morning to go shovel snow. And I realized then that Syracuse is not a place I'm going to retire.
Did you get paid or this was free work?
My mother. This was like, she gave, you know what? She gave me $5 allowance every week. But no, this was...
Well, $5 back then, I mean, that's like probably
Wait, you can't say $5 back then to him.
I'm thinking about $5 used to buy you something back then. You buy a full Happy Meal.
But you don't know what things you're buying. If you got $5, you buy like candy bars and stuff.
Yeah, okay, I mean, when you're 8 years old, you're not thinking about, I had a little Army Green Man. Y'all remember those?
Yeah.
And AFX cars. And that's what I would take my $5 and go purchase.
Yeah.
I had the micro machines.
Loved
micro machines.
Yeah.
I had so many of them.
And the arcade, too. Yep. I mean, when I was growing up, the arcade. Did you guys even have the arcade, or you don't even remember that?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
You remember it?
Absolutely.
They're like what? They're 19 and 20.
Arcades too? What are you talking about? Gosh. No, I remember thinking too. Like, I didn't like. I grew up in Pennsylvania. I don't want to shovel snow.
Right.
Yeah.
Thankfully, in Georgia, we don't have any.
Well, we had a snowmageddon one time.
Yeah, one time.
Not much snow, but the ice shut us down.
Yeah, the Armageddon part of the snow.
You just wait for it to melt. Right. Yeah. And so from Syracuse, then you entered the Navy.
Yeah, so I joined the Navy in 1983. I was 17 years young, and I was only following my 5 other cousins that were much older. We all, had sisters. It was just amazing. So these first cousins, I'm the youngest of the 6. We all had girls, sisters, and so we actually grew up like brothers. And so we followed Tony. Tony is the oldest. And so after Tony joined the Navy, and then Mark, and then Rodney, so on and so forth, then I was the caboose. I came in. And we were all enlisted. But once I got into the Navy, I realized that there was another side. I'm like, why everybody saluting him, right? So I started asking questions. I went to Great Lakes, Illinois boot camp, another place that had a lot of snow in Chicago. So I went there, and I'm like, well, what's up with all this snow and ice? But I went there in Chicago, and I discovered this program around officers. And I'm like, because the Navy were, they taught us about leadership and discipline and service. When this individual would walk into the room, all 80 of us, we would pop to attention and salute. That's what I want to be. I want to be able to walk into the room, not so much getting the salute, but being able to grab one's attention. And it took me 8 years because I went in with no college education and things of that nature. So the Navy, they have a excellent enlisted to officer program. But it took me 8 years. I went from E1 to E7. And if you know anything about the military, to reach E7 in 8 years, normally it would take about 15, 16 years.
Wow.
Right? So every test, every performance, every practical, I was just scoring it out the box. And every time leaders were appointing me in other leadership roles in engineering, operations, and logistics. And it just became very natural. And then on my 9th year, I became a naval officer. And so the rest was history. Ended up doing 22 years and just really loved the Navy.
I mean, during that time, too, you said you were deployed 7 different times?
Yeah, so because it was very contentious, right? I mean, Ronald Reagan was fighting against this Cold War. Back then, it was USSR, and he was driven to have this 600-ship Navy, and so he was promoting individuals to the next level rather quickly, and so I was just caught up in that same process, and so but you cannot get things. They just don't give you a stamp, rubber stamp. You have to perform. You have to really show up and demonstrate this leadership. And so during those 7 deployments, 4 combat missions, 2 special operations, and 1 humanitarian, I had to show up and demonstrate what leadership looks like and being able to deal with stress and dealing with all walks of life. It didn't matter if you came from Wisconsin, California, Alaska. And so my very first time of demonstrating this leadership, I had a division of 60 people. And
did you command the whole boat?
No, not well. I was an ensign at that time.
Okay.
And so it was just a division of 60.
Right.
And we had a significant role because we had to take care of the tactical execution, missiles, torpedoes, bombs, and things of that nature. And so that's when I got the call sign Action Jackson, which somebody else is using Action Jackson right now too. I'm sure we'll.
Were you the first or were you the second Action Jackson?
Yeah, well, that's a great question because Carl Withers was the first, and I guess because he was in Hollywood, I was a real Action Jackson doing the work for our country, and so that became my call sign.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
So where were you normally stationed out of when you were in the Navy?
Primarily East Coast. Again, Charleston, South Carolina. It was just amazing how that went full circle. Because I went to the place where my great-grandfather was sold in Charleston. But primarily in Charleston, South Carolina, and then Norfolk, Virginia, and I did 1 tour when I did with this special team in San Diego. But everything else, all my deployments were in Mediterranean, Middle East, where there's a war right now. Been down to South America, Africa, been down to the South Pole, another cold place. I'm like,
oh, you can't. Yeah, you don't like snow. You're just you're done with snow.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And so these 7 deployments pretty much took me. I covered 75% of the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so then that was almost like your first sort of life, the military, 22 years, and then you had a kind of a second life in the corporate world. So tell us a little bit about that.
So from 1983 to 2005 was my military life. And I tell everyone, I think that was the foundation that allowed for me to catapult into corporate America. And so went into corporate America after I retired in 2005, went to Owens Corning. That was very different because that was my very first time being in a unionized environment. Very different, very structured. What those who are salary versus those who are union. And I did that for a little more than a year. And then GE came calling and gave me an opportunity that I just could not refuse, and did that for almost to remain in balance, about 7 years. And then my first wife that I was with, she was also in the Navy. We met in the Navy. She got cancer in 2014. And so I took a sabbatical from GE, and it just rocked my world. And she recovered the first time, but it came back with a vengeance the second time. But during that first time was when a good friend of mine was retiring from the Gold Dome. He was a state legislator. And he said, hey, you mind going to breakfast with me? Anytime somebody asks you to go to breakfast and they're elected official,
Be wary.
be wary.
Yes, yes.
And so
yes.
I went with Virgil Flood, the Honorable Virgil Flood. He said, I think you have what it takes to be a state legislator. Oh, service, leadership, military background, corporate. And he said, so I'm going to retire, and I think you would be a good successor. So I told my wife, at that time, the cancer was in recession, 2015. And I told her, she said, you know what? I think you'll do exceptionally great. And my platform was around healthcare because I witnessed during those first 12 months or so that she was going through this process that Georgia could do better, right? And I was so accustomed of this healthcare system that we were afforded, her and I, in the military, that anything, you just walk in the door and they throw everything but the kitchen sink at you, all the specialists and things of that nature. And so he retired in 2015. The election took place in 2016. I won with 54%. Everybody thought it was going to be a runoff.
No.
Nope.
How many people did you run against that year?
3
in the primary.
3 in the primary.
Okay.
And ran
and
away with it.
You didn't have a runoff. Okay, yeah, runoff from the primary.
Yeah,
okay.
at 54%.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
rare for a primary, too.
Very rare.
Yeah, good job.
Very rare. And the rest was history. And I did not go back to GE. They were like, okay, you're what?
So you come back?
But I couldn't do it because I did very well at GE. But I think it was something spiritual that was happening, a different calling. Much like how you all came here, right? It's something that gravitated you all to come to Georgia. And so, and it was an opportunity to make a difference. And I started meeting with the 7 cities I covered and started introducing legislation, and here I am.
When you're meeting with those cities, are you normally meeting with constituents that live there, or like the mayors or city councils?
Yeah, great question.
Yes to everything.
Pretty much everyone, but more so the mayors, the leadership, to find out what is it that they need from the state to help enable them to do what they need to do. And that's that kind of partnership and collaboration is the reason why 10 years later, District 68 is the fastest growing district out of 180 districts, $3 billion in economic development projects, $400 million in infrastructure improvements, and created 30,000 jobs.
Yeah, so those jobs, you're talking about like adding jobs into your area or adding jobs into the state. What do you think it was that enabled that to actually happen?
Yeah, so I think this business, private, government relationship started. And so I started meeting with developers such as yourself and saying, what can we take this virgin land to look like? And I said Virgil because that was the former. But we had a lot of virgin land south of I-20, and where you don't have to tear something down to build something up. And it was just enticing to these developers. But what else was enticing was the proximity to the airport, right? They wanted to be real close to the airport.
Yeah, I am amazed about all of the, there's so many development opportunities around the airport, especially in DeKalb County right now, that are just not taken where, I'm a DeKalb County school board member, and there's a lot of just the economic growth in that area is just not superb, but yet it's
There's
like
more potential.
It's lots of potential, and it's 10 minutes from the airport. Like, how could you live 10 minutes from the biggest airport in the entire world for, I'm assuming housing in that area is still probably $300,000 or $400,000, and those, to me, that's affordable housing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think, so the airport was our selling point, but I think also our school system was another selling point. The mayors, the 7 mayors, willing to work with these developers, because you all know there's so much red tape around zoning and ordinancing and things of that nature. So we had just a very cooperative group of elected officials who say, hey, listen, we want to play ball.
Have you heard about the City of Atlanta permitting process recently, or is that in your jurisdiction at all? Or
So I'm right outside of the city of
Okay,
Atlanta.
okay.
So, but do tell what.
Well,
I mean,
it's big, and it's
There's
just difficult.
lots of colors of tape.
There's colors of tape. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots of
Red
colors
tape,
of
blue
tape.
tape,
Yes,
white tape,
we're
orange
trying to be
tape,
nice.
all the tape.
In fact, I just met with somebody for lunch today, and he was telling me he's trying to permit some projects in City of Atlanta. He said the City of Atlanta, it's a project to permit something in the City of Atlanta versus other jurisdictions, and good and bad, but they obviously probably have a lot of building in the City of Atlanta, which means that they have a lot to manage versus some other jurisdictions like Dunwoody has 50,000 residents. City of Atlanta has a lot more than 50,000 residents to manage, which means a lot more development.
yeah, I mean, we streamlined the permitting process. We made it business friendly, if you will, very efficient and very effective. So I think when you have everyone that's in this boardroom that's looking at the end goal, the mission of developing Peachtree City and Tyrone, Georgia, and City of Fayetteville, and Fairburn, and Union City, and College Park, and City of South Fulton. These 7 cities were like, we're hungry for opportunity. Developers were hungry to build, and so we're just very rich for everyone. Yeah. And we incentivized it, and it's great when you have, someone like a Dan Cathy that's also instrumental in these conversations as a constituent. So,
yeah, I mean, to me, you're leading with all the right messages. I mean, really, everything. When you're living someplace, you want there to be housing and jobs, and along with population growth. I mean, if you have those 3, pretty much you're going to form. Everything else is going to work around it just because of those 3 items. And so when I think about certain areas, like I know, probably inside the perimeter, their growth is a lot smaller than probably even like cities like Peachtree City, but Cobb County, Forsyth County, Gwinnett County. They're beating, as far as growth, a lot of the Metro Atlanta cities, which is just odd to me because I thought Metro Atlanta would just start to get bigger and denser. But really, the population growth is occurring north of the city, which is just very odd to me.
yeah. Well, I think for the most part, and again, nothing against Atlanta. When you think about all the pieces of this jigsaw puzzle, it has to fit for everyone.
Yeah.
It has to be a win-win solution. So I think the metro counties and cities are open to making this jigsaw puzzle work for everyone. I know where I am these last 10 years, we made sure that it's not just a win-win solution for our constituents, but for our business partners as well. Because not all businesses were adopted in my area. We wanted to make sure, we invited the public to have their voice. We made sure that we preserve green space because we got a lot of golf carts. I mean, Peachtree City is known.
Yes, you don't need a car in Peachtree City, right?
Everybody's exactly right.
They have the fancy golf carts too, right?
I mean, they're fancy now, right? But we know how to grow in a smart way, and smart growth is not just a cliche for us, right? I mean, it's a planned city, and so that just precipitated to others municipalities as well.
And Peachtree City, I think that they have pretty good population growth too. So that it's part of that, outside the perimeter growth. And you guys are doing really well as far as making it a place people want to live in. Peachtree City, when did it was the concept started? It was
early 70s.
It was I was thinking 80s or something like that.
Yeah, no, early 70s. I mean, they said let's develop a 100-mile golf cart path first, and then we'll build everything else to it.
Crazy.
Why not? Yeah.
right?
So you mentioned when you were a naval officer, you're always looking at like what's that next battle, and it seems like your area you're focused on now, like you said, it's the fastest growing in the state. It's doing phenomenally well. How do you take that next battle to governor of Georgia, making Georgia fastest growing, best state in the country to work in?
Yeah, I think so. The Navy taught me how to be disciplined and strategic, and incorporate lessons learned, and then execute the next vision. And I think it's that new frontier for us is rural Georgia, right? Out of 159 counties, 122 counties are rural, considered rural. And I think there's, again, going back to that virgin opportunity.
White space, like it's essentially land.
Opportunity, right? Where we can take this blank canvas and create our next masterpiece. And we have county commissioners and mayors in these rural parts of the state who are just hungry for us to build and grow and develop water and sewage, as you all know.
Yep.
You got to have that membrane first. And so as a governor, I will make a pitch to new developers and say, pick up a location in rural Georgia and let's have this beautiful blank canvas and create our next masterpiece, right? Our next destination. And the example I use is Las Vegas. Think about it. Las Vegas at one time was just a desert.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Las Vegas becoming a destination? And here we are decades later.
It's still hot.
It's still a desert.
They don't have snow, but they got a lot of business there.
Right.
They got a lot of business. So
Right? I mean, when the
tons of business.
NFL said, 5 or 6 years ago, let's build a stadium.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, but I was just thinking about like Rivian. Rivian is that story.
Yeah,
Yeah. So how do we have more Rivians come to Georgia?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? Rivian.
Kia, Hyundai.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be always manufacturing. It could be the next amusement park, like Great Wolf Lodge, right? Something like that. That's going to form this destination. I'm open to casinos, right?
You have to be careful with that one, don't you?
You do. So casinos can be a destination resort, though,
Yeah.
right? Where you can bring in live entertainment. Yes, gambling too.
It's a huge benefit. I mean, to the tax base. And
Absolutely.
In fact, there was some legislation proposed this time around, wasn't there?
Well, the last 10 years I've been under the go
There's
down.
always legislation proposed.
Every year.
Okay.
Horse track racing.
Yeah.
I say let's make the next. Now I know my friends in Augusta are going to be like, Derrick, why did you say that? But let's make another oasis for golf tournaments,
Sure.
right?
Lots of. So you're one of the only candidates that has military background and worked for like the largest companies, not only in the U.S. but in the world.
That's right.
Working with GE. So
That's right.
taking that experience, how do you get? Those are huge institutions that put serious dollars behind making a commitment to somewhere. How do we get them to come to Georgia?
Yeah, so we have to lead the conversation saying Georgia is the best place for families. That's our selling point, right? If you start there, because that way these CEOs will like, oh, can I envision taking my family there, right? It's not always with the incentive dollars. I mean, because these corporations get incentivized from New York to California to Texas. So my starting point is saying Georgia's that place where you get that Southern hospitality, right? Great school education. Because that's what brought me back to Georgia, brought me home.
Yeah. Southern food too. Fried chicken.
Hey,
Publix fried chicken.
right? The culture, right? No, you're right. There are things that Georgia can entice CEOs saying, I want to come there. I mean, think about this for a second. As a Governor Jackson, and we started this already, the world's busiest airport. I mean, we're, 27, 28 years with holding this title?
Yeah.
Where we got nonstop destination to
Around the world.
around the world,
Yeah.
right? CEOs got to get from one place to another place. I know when I was with GE, my district covered France, China, South America, and of course the United States. But just think about that. So we can bring other corporations and saying, hey, not only we're bringing corporations, but we're bringing the world stage to Georgia, right? World Cup, Super Bowl, the Olympics again.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to be a part of this opportunity to be in Georgia?
And it's easily accessible, it's inviting, and ultimately we want people to want to be here. And
Yeah.
you want to cultivate that environment is
Yeah.
what I'm hearing.
That's right. So I'm going to start with selling the fact that we got the friendliest people. We got the smartest workforce.
We got Georgia Tech and
And Emory. No, listen.
Emory. Yeah.
And, right? I mean, some of our HBCUs are doing phenomenal
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And you can't find another CDC in the world
Yeah.
than right here.
If you look at that best place for family to live, I love that statement. I mean, that's what people care about. Normally, most people care about their family more ahead of their
Absolutely.
job. Jobs are important, but they care about their family
That's
first.
right. So that's the reason why you all have heard that, yes, it's great to be, the #1 state for business, but I'm going to make Georgia the #1 state for family.
Yeah.
Make it affordable, our health care, our education, right? Business friendly, carve out some of the, of this $14.3 billion, take $1.5 billion and create a $50,000 grant, not a loan, to small businesses. We got nearly 1 million small businesses, but you wouldn't know that.
In Georgia, 1 million small businesses in
Right,
Georgia.
in Georgia,
Okay.
right? And so I'm going to be a pro small business governor to say, here's a $50,000 grant, right? There's only one requirement and one string attached. You got to keep your business in Georgia. But if you want to take that $50,000 to hire others or modernize your business or use it for marketing, that's it.
But ultimately, the goal is that value of that $50,000 is going to be much more as far as revenue in the future and people you're
Absolutely.
hiring, jobs.
More tax base, absolutely.
Okay, so that's really an investment. Is kind of the way you're looking at
Yeah,
it.
because think about it. Most small businesses, they are our neighbor, they are our friends, they are those who have that entrepreneurial spirit, who wants to maybe take their corporate expertise and build a legacy for their family, right? They're already entrenched in our communities. What better way to infuse our communities across all of Georgia through small business partners?
So you kind
But
of
they're not gonna take a stake in the business, right? Or as it would be, you get the grant. It's just a grant.
Yeah, it's just a grant.
I don't know. I think they should get. I think you should get a percentage
Get
of the
a-
business too.
No, I could, because I don't want small businesses to believe that they beholden to the government,
Yes,
right? I want you to be, there's something to be said about that entrepreneurial spirit. It's like open and carefree. Yes, you're taking some risk, but this idea of an entrepreneur saying, what's the niche? What else can we do for our communities? That think about every major business started off small.
Right. I mean, every business started out with an idea, and then I'm assuming this is the capital world of you invest in 10 or 20 businesses, and 10 of them fail, but one of them just goes absolutely gangbusters.
I want to be the incubator,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I want to be known. Derrick Jackson going to be the incubator.
Georgia as an incubator for new businesses.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
to-
would be an interesting
I
messaging.
mean, to do that too, like we need education, right?
Yeah.
And that's what families care about too. Is like, how do we make sure Georgia has best education system from either from a test scores to bang for the buck to opportunities.
It's also back to, we talk about like pre-K and like if that pre-K through 12, like how do we make sure that works? And then after 12, after the 12th grade, what happens afterwards? We talk about, I forget what it is, but it's either military service, tech school, career, or college.
Yep.
And so what is your kind of vision of what education looks like? And, like there's a lot of discussions about pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 right now, which makes a huge impact in students' development through elementary school.
Yeah, so listen, I know some of you all have already heard this, so I apologize in advance. But my vision is cradle to career, whatever that career may look like, military, college, trade school, what have you, immediately into the workforce. That cradle piece starts at the age of 2, though. I want to make sure our public education bring your 2-year-old to our school. What that will do, it will help save another 2 years to families on this average $1,700 a month child care, right? Bring your daughter, your child, your son to school at the age of 2. Why wait to the age of 4? Why wait to the age of 5? Bring them in at the age of 2. What that would do, it would not only free up those families to get back into the workforce 2 years earlier and save $1,700 a month on child care, but now we can start educating your child in a more structured environment, right? It's not the television. It's not, at chance of some iPad that you get. No, bring them into the school, a safe environment. We start at the cradle, and now we focus on the career. We reverse engineer this, right? My engineering mind, reverse engineer this and start introducing to that 2-year-old the benefits of science and math and art and engineering, right? And the reason why I know this can work, my wife and I, we have 7 children, right? A very blended family. When you think about our children, I get caught up because my oldest, I just walked her down the aisle 2 weeks ago.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. But she's a doctor. She practiced medicine up in Chicago, right? She graduated from Fisk University, went on to Meharry. Then the next daughter graduated from Georgia Military College.
So you have a bunch of underperforming children is what I'm hearing right now.
And the next daughter number 3, graduated from Yale.
Oh, boy.
Right? Preparing for to go to law school. And then we get to boys. Skip graduated from Duke. Not just with a bachelor's, with a master's too. He played football for Duke for 5 years, doing exceptionally well. Then we had another son, and he's going to end up in the NFL, but he just graduated from Kennesaw State University with a civil engineer. Then we go back to daughters. Trinity is down in Louisiana. In 2 years, we'll be calling her doctor. And then our youngest at Morehouse. So if parents start pouring into their children at an early age, both Ivy League, public, school, trade school, the rest is history.
Well, I have a 20-year-old. Could my 20-year-old live in your house for a few years to kind of figure this one out? Because he's kind of trying to figure out life right now. So
absolutely.
Just give me your address. I'll send him over.
Absolutely. All the way down to Peachtree City.
But, for me, education to me is an investment, because if you can't figure it out before you graduate 12th grade, and I don't want this to come across in a bad way, but like everything after 12th grade or when you're an adult, it's some form of remediation. Like, how do we make you have some type of future if your future or your direction is not figured out by the time you graduate high school? Because your future doesn't have to be figured out when you graduate high school, but hopefully you're pointing in a direction. The problem is when there is no direction and you're not pointed there. But there's statistics about third grade reading, and if you're not reading by third grade reading, there's a lot of studies right now that talk about horrible things if you're not reading by third grade. Yeah. But like, how do we ensure everybody's reading by third grade? And really, it is about starting early. And what you said about being 2 and being in school, it does happen sometimes, but not for everyone. And it happens when you could pay for it, but when you can't pay for it, you don't get it.
Yeah.
And if that was like just part of the normal, and like you're reading in first and second grade, I think that would be amazing. And then the trajectory of all of those students becomes very different, very, very different.
I think, to your point, how do we standardize this process?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm very careful not to use the word enculturation because it's highly charged, but the Navy enculturated me. it took me through boot camp for 12 weeks and started ground zero and said, we're going to teach you what leadership is and discipline and structure. Now, at that time, I'm 17 years of age. But if we did the same thing at the age of 2, start introducing ABCs instead of waiting to the age of 5.
Yeah.
I mean, my oldest child, Taylor, she was reading Shakespeare at the age of 5. Okay? It's what me and my first wife introduced to our child. It wasn't that I love Shakespeare and thee, thou, thou, but it was something that say, let's try this. And it became a blueprint. And interesting enough, my second wife, she's taught her children, the boys. She gave me the sons I never had. But if we were together, and it's amazing, we had this commonality around education, vocabulary words, and sentence structure, and things of that nature. And so to your second point, I think third graders, it's not their fault. The 62% who are not reading at grade level, it's not their fault. Government, we failed them.
School system, the government. Yeah.
You know, so that's why I have this cradle to career vision. Everyone that touches the child, we have to empower them. The government has to empower them. So we have to empower parents, make sure they have laptops and internet at home, because not every household is going to have internet service, have a laptop. So we're going to empower parents. 33% of our household have computers. That means the other 2/3 do not. So we got to make sure that, especially in rural Georgia, that they have an internet access, broadband. We're going to invest in broadband. Then who else touches the child? Well, educators. So we're going to do the 3 R's, I call them. Recruit the best, retain them, and then when they go off and retire, they have a dignity. They don't have to work again after they retire, right? Yeah. That's how you recruit teachers and the best and the brightest of the land. We have teachers being taught right here at Georgia Tech and UGA, and then they go and work in Connecticut, in New York, in California.
You lose the brain drain to higher paying jobs in other states. Yeah.
But we're also going to invest in bus drivers and cafeteria. Make sure our 644,000 children are being fed. Don't go to school hungry, because you cannot learn if your stomach is growling, right? And so we got to look at the most comprehensive way to make sure we have a workforce, that entrepreneurs, right, and make sure that when they reach the third grade, that 62%, we dwindle it down to 10%. Because we may not save everybody,
right?
To your third point, right? But it should not be 62%.
Correct. And to me, that's just the foundation of everything else. If you get those first 18 years right, that person, that trajectory will be a lot different than if there is, kind of like they stop in high school.
But that makes sense in the message of how do we get the best companies and best people to come to Georgia. It's working on the family. And education is a big part of that, but then affordability is another part of that too. And I know you're
absolutely
big on that part too. It's like,
affordability, it's not just a buzzword. I've been focusing on this as a PhD candidate, right? Because during the Great Depression and the Great Recession, that's where my seminal work is, it was affordability. People could not afford to eat or keep a roof over their head. And so FDR took a gamble and said, we're going to bring in the best and the brightest. So they brought in J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, Carnegie Hall, all these titans. Said, what can you all do from a business perspective to team up with the government to help our society? And I'm going to take the same approach. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Best practices is right there. And so the only thing that I ask businesses when you partner up with government, don't, divorce us 10, 20, 30 years, because I'm focusing on the mission, not just the here and now, but 10, 20, 30 years from now. So that way when we look back and we go, and we're all in our rocking chair, we go, we did good. We left our fingerprint on a society, and we did good.
I mean, to me, this is always about investment. And, what do you invest in to build something for the future? And I think we kind of lose sight of that, but everything we do, hopefully in government, is an investment, because it's either an investment or remediation of serving some need that was not served.
That's right. That's right. And so I'm going to be that governor to invest in family, invest in people, right? Because if we do this right, our tax base will increase, right? Affordability will be an afterthought, right? I don't care if you have a yacht or a canoe or a kayak. It's your choice. But we have to create a playing field to where you can exercise the option. So if you want a yacht, get a yacht. If you want a canoe, get a canoe. If you want a kayak, get a kayak. But government shouldn't be picking winners or losers. We should just create the playing field and then let your entrepreneurial spirit take you to wherever that destination may be.
So big company, small company, if you're talking to someone, you're pitching them, you want to start a business here in Georgia, or you want to do it in South Carolina or Tennessee or Florida, what's your pitch to them to say, hey, you got to do it here in Georgia?
Yeah, you have to do it here in Georgia because Florida gets too many hurricanes.
And insurance is too much.
Insurance is too much.
Yes.
Right? Alabama, again, nothing against those who are from Alabama, but we got a stronger workforce. We got institutionalized system in place. You can't find CDC in another state. Healthcare, right? It should be paramount when you're talking to CEOs. We don't have snow like in North Carolina.
You really got the snow thing going on.
That's right.
Okay.
In Tennessee. So all of my neighboring states, we're the better of all worlds, right?
Yeah.
Excellent climate. We got 2 ports on our,
I think people lose sight of that too. Those ports are a big deal. And
if you think about this,
yeah,
there are 18 industries in Georgia that allow for us to not file bankruptcy during the Great Recession. And we doubled down on some industries. We said, you know what, we want this film and television industry here. 14 years ago, it brought about $300 million. Today, $9.5 billion. So we know how to incentivize and grow industries here. Cybersecurity, same way, right? So that's why I will convince CEOs and other future corporations, go take a look at South Carolina and Florida. Go ahead and do that. Come to us last. Come to us last. And let me give you a tour of what this beautiful mosaic that we can build together.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
That's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for coming.
Well,
Yeah,
listen.
that was a great ending.
Yeah, the only thing I would add to it is
Yeah.
we have the greatest airport, and we talked about it earlier, but the greatest airport on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And from a quality of life, whether you're in business or whether it's for personal travel, there's no greater airport in the world that you can get direct, get fast, get efficient. Like having 5 flights a day to basically almost every U.S. destination you need to get to.
And international
It's
destination
amazing.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just domestic, but international, nonstop.
Yep.
Right? That means something. Right? And so when you partner up, well before I got into politics, but the state government said, Delta, you're our airline of choice. Let's partner up. So there's a lot of benefits when government make that investment. And I'm going to make that investment on the people in Georgia.
Well, if you think about it too, the Atlanta airport was an investment many years ago, and somebody had this idea, and for however it worked out pretty well. And
because Delta almost ended up in Birmingham.
that was That would have been interesting.
right? But Maynard Jackson, something about these Jacksons, said, nah, Delta, come here.
Yeah.
Go to Birmingham, take a look at it, and come here.
So how do you get the next Delta, the Rivian, Hyundai?
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So May 19th.
May 19th.
May 19th is the
But
date.
you got to register to vote. Make sure you're eligible to vote on April 20th. Because if you're not registered to vote on April 20th, you can't participate on May 19th. Early voting starts on April 27th, and they can go to voteDerrickJackson.org, and you see a comprehensive plan. See, that's what differentiates me against all the other gubernatorial candidates. I'm the only elected official, the only legislator, the only one to introduce legislation. So I don't speak with hypothetical and philosophical points. I'm speaking from a place that's entrenched in policy, right? My plan is to evoke the policies that I've been talking about and introducing the last 10 years under that gold dome.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much.
We wish you
the
the
best of luck on the 19th.
best of luck. And you got how many more days? You're counting every day.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's coming down.
It's coming down, right?
Yeah.
But thank you for having me. This is great, and let's work together.
Absolutely.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Good luck. You got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Thanks.